All right, in this quick video, we're going to take you through the Happy Profits process map. So let's dive in. Here it is zoomed out. Just zoom in on the lower right-hand corner once you're in your Miro board. Here we'll talk a little bit about what a process map is. And then we also have this guide with this video. But obviously, since you're watching this video, you've looked at the guide. I would also recommend taking a look at the instructions, the written instructions step by step, so you can see how we go through stages, process, and steps to outline everything on the process map. But what I'll do is I'll do that with you right now and kind of show you how we use it through this process map example. One thing to note, this is just an example so you can get better understanding of how this works. But we also below have a process map template for you to fill out, and everything can be dragged and dropped, expanded. It doesn't need to fit this exact structure from a left to right perspective or a horizontal perspective, but from a vertical perspective, it should be relatively standard. Okay. So let's dive into it, zooming in a bit more. So when we look first at the stage is going to really be anything that comes into acquisition, retention, or admin. And the reason why, the way we think about just summing up a business really easily is we acquire clients or new customers, and then we retain those customers or clients. And then we have the admin in the back to make sure that our staff get paid, they get onboarded properly, everything that comes into kind of making sure the business runs smoothly. So as you can see here, we'll have those span those different categories. Then from there, we go into department. So we think about in each stage, which is the departments that work with a client or customer in this stage. And I like to think about it as like, what is the very first interaction and what is that department, the second interaction, third interaction, and so on. So in this example, we have acquisition stage, and then we would say, okay, well, first they're going to interact because they don't really know us, they're interact with our inbound marketing team. And then once they come in, they're going to interact with our sales team. And once we are able to assign them as a client, we're able to bring them into the more retention state, and they're going to deal with our client services team. And then from there, we're going to be able to do the work that we actually do, is just our campaigns and manage those campaigns. And then on the back end, we need to make sure that finance, HR, and so on are working properly so that the company is running smoothly and we can make sure they're continuing to acquire and retain clients. So that's the department. And so once we've put in all the departments, we can start putting in additional process categories. So one question that you should ask yourselves is what types of the processes are done by this department at this stage? So for example, when we look at inbound marketing, that's going to be something like, all right, how do we go about building our reputation or awareness in the community or in our customer target market that we need? How do we maybe go about having different referral partners who bring us inbound marketing? That might be looking at doing conferences or tech summits and things like that. From a sales perspective, what do we do in our sales process? We first start with the discovery, and then we go into the proposal, and then client services. How do we implement a campaign? How do we report on a campaign? And so on and so forth. So once you understand the different process category, then you can start putting in the processes. So from here, you're going to be asking, what are the processes in this subcategory? So when we take a look at that, it's going to be moved into the pink. And on the top, we're going to have the process title, and then we're going to put a small 1 to 2 sentence max description of this process, just so we can better understand it or for any other stakeholders in the business. From here, we'll look at things like, okay, so for reputation, when we build awareness reputation, we might be doing thought leadership pieces. And this is delivering content on our website as well as external properties to build brand authority and awareness for new customer acquisition. We might be entering different industry awards. What is the process that goes into that? From referrals, what do we do with the process with servicing our tech providers or service providers? In our discovery, we have a discovery meeting. We might get access to their data so we can do an audit and a proposal. Process category, we might build the proposal deck, we might go through how we analyze how we can provide them the pricing or commercials, so on and so forth. So you would list this starting from 1 to 2 to 3, and as I mentioned, there's about 25 different spaces here, but when you are able to go down and do your own example, you can actually expand this out, so you might have more than 25, maybe you have 35, and you're able to just drag and drop these elements into the appropriate area so that you can expand into that category. Okay, so now we have all the processes listed in the entire organization from A to Z, everything that it takes for us to run our campaigns. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting each step into the relevant process, or each step that goes into each process. So let's just say when it comes to building a proposal strategy, we first need to outline our story and strategy. Then we build a rough deck with the template library we have. We brief the team. We conduct the audit. We conduct the strategy. We enter the strategy and audit the decks. We finalize the story. Then we work with commercial to calculate the pricing, and then we practice presentation, present presentation. Or if we looked at something like from a thought leadership, we'd research the trends, we'd build visual and written content, we'd build a content distribution strategy, we'd distribute the content, we would look to drive traffic to the content, and then we'd need to have an offer to convert viewers into leads from there. So this once again, these are all examples. Just put as much information as you can, as many steps. And once again, we put about 10 steps. Should be enough for most of your businesses, but we can always add more in, and you can actually extend this downwards as well. So now that we have each of the different things filled out, if we zoom out, what we should be able to see is that now we have every process in the business and every step that it takes in that process into the business. And this is how we're going to now start to pick out and identify which processes should we attempt to use AI or AI to be able to do really improve line efficiencies in our team, increasing both happiness and profits with our organization. So this is kind of the first step in doing that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're happy to help you.